Hello students, in continuation of our last video, we will do the remaining part of the poem Elegy Written in a Country Churchyard by Thomas Gray. So, in the previous video, we did that these rustics, they were saved from various crimes. Now, in these lines, the poet says that the struggling pangs of conscious truth to hide. These rustics, they did not suffer the pain which one has to suffer when he tries to hide something, because they did not have anything to hide. They always told the truth to quench the blushes of ingenious shame. They did not have to overcome the reddening of cheeks, which is there due to natural shame. They did not feel ashamed of anything because they did not do anything wrong, or heap the shrine of luxury and pride. They did not tell lies in order to please anybody. Luxury and pride means people who are rich or who are proud. They did not have to flatter them with incense kindled at the muse's flame. They did not offer any flattering praises in their honor. Far from the madding crowd's ignoble strife, their sober wishes never learned to stray. So they always remained away from the crazy population of the city, far from the madding crowd, the crazy population of the city. Ignoble strife means who are always busy in mean competition with each other. Their sober wishes never learned to stray. They had very humble desires and they never learned to stray, means they never left the right path along the cool sequestered vale of life. They remained and they lived a very peaceful life along the cool means undisturbed, sequestered means secluded, lonely walk of life. They kept the noiseless tenor of their way, and in this way they maintained the daily routine of their day. Yet even these bones from insult to protect. Although they were poor, they could not afford, still in order to protect the bones from insult, to save the bones of the dead rustics from dishonor, some frail memorial still erected now. Some frail means some weak monument has been constructed near their graves with uncouth rhymes and shapeless sculpture decked, means the words which are written or the ugly engravings with which their tombs are decorated. They were written by uneducated villagers. Uncouth rhymes and shapeless sculptures. Decked means decorated. Implores the passing tribute of a sigh. They crave for a sigh from the passerby who sighs at their obscure fate. Now, in the next lines, the poet wishes to convey that their name, their ears spelt by unlettered muse, means these tomes, they had the names or their death or their birth date written by some uneducated village poet. The place of fame and elegy supply, and many a holy text around she strews that teach the rustic moralist to die. And sometimes they are inscribed with some lines from Holy Bible which teach them to reconcile themselves to death. For who to dumb forgetfulness a prey, this pleasing anxious being ever resigned, means a village person. The silent grave suggests that they are so forgotten who laid their life and its possibility of joy and sorrow without any regret. Left the warm pursuits of the cheerful day, they left behind the joy and sorrow without any regret, nor cast one longing, lingering look behind. Means they did not cast longing, lingering look behind. They gave up their bright and happy days without any regret. On some fond breast, the parting soul realizes, means the person who is about to die. What does he wish? He wishes that the presence of people near him, some pious drops the closing eye requires. He only wishes some tears of sympathy and love at the time of his death. Even from the tomb, the voice of nature cries, even in our ashes live their wonted fires. Means even the buried rustic desire to be remembered, and even in our ashes the craving for love and sympathy still survives in ashes. For thee who mindful of the unhonored dead, dost in these lines their artless tale relate. So he says, for thee means for the poet who is now sympathetic towards these unhonored dead people, dost in these lines their artless tale relate. He narrates in this poem and he says, if chance means if by accident it so happens that just like he is mourning the death of these rustic people, some person might come in search of Thomas Gray. If by accident, by lonely contemplation led, some kindred spirit shall inquire thy fate. Some contemplative frame of mind person might come to inquire about his fate. Haply some hoary-headed swain may say, perhaps, happily means perhaps, some hoary-headed means grey-haired peasant, he might say about Gray. Oft have we seen him at the peep of dawn. We have often seen him. He means Gray. At the peep of dawn means early in the morning, brushing with hasty steps the dews away, walking fast, moving fast, and wiping off the dews early in the morning with his steps to meet the sun upon the upland lawn, as if he is in a hurry to meet the sun which is about to rise. Enjoy the beautiful sight of the rising sun. So what does the poet mean in these lines? He says that just as he is inquiring about the dead rustics, maybe when he is gone, somebody might come to inquire about Gray, and he might be told that there at the foot of yonder nodding beech that reads its old fantastic root so high, there at the foot means at the bottom of yonder means that, nodding means the tree which is moving sideways, that reads its old fantastic root so high, which twists its old strange root so high. His listless length, his means Thomas Gray's body, might be seen resting under that tree at noontime, and pour upon the brook that babbles by. Pour upon the brook means watching or looking at the stream which flows by. Hard by yon wood, now smiling as in corn, he says, sometimes Gray would be seen near that wood. Wood means forest. Now smiling as in corn, as if smiling in contempt, muttering his wayward fancies. He would rove. He would rove means he would wander. He would move from one place to another. Muttering means uttering romantic imaginations. Now drooping, woeful wan, like one forlorn. Sometimes drooping means lowering his head like a dejected person, woeful man, sad man, or like a lonely person, or crazed with care, mad with anxieties, or crossed in hopeless love, or a person who is disappointed in love. He might be seen in such a condition. Once, one morn, I missed him on the customed hill. This person who is giving information about Gray, he says, one morning he did not see him on the hill where he was usually seen. Along the heath and near his favorite tree, he could not be seen anywhere, even under that tree where he could be seen resting. Another came means another day came. Next day also he could not be seen, nor yet beside the reel. Reel means the stream, nor up the lawn, nor at the wood was he. He was nowhere to be seen. The next with dirges due in said array. Then on the third day he saw people carrying him in mourning dress. Funeral songs were sung. Slow through the churchway path we saw him borne. We saw him being carried along the churchway path. Approach and read. Then he says to the person who has come to inquire about Gray, to approach means to go near and read. Read means to see, as he can see or read the lay graved on the stone beneath yon aged thorn. Short narrative poem which is engraved on Gray's tomb. The epitaph means the message which is written or engraved on the tomb. He says, here rests his head upon the lap of earth, means here at this place in this graveyard rests his head upon the lap of earth in the grave. Youth to fortune and to fame unknown. It is believed that Thomas Gray did not become famous in his lifetime. It was only after his death that his poems were taken and he was made a famous poet. So he says, youth who was never favored with wealth, or fame. Fair signs frown not on his humble birth. Means knowledge did not favor him, as he was born in a humble family, and melancholy marked him for her own, and he led a life which was full of sorrow and miseries. Larger was his bounty, and his soul sincere. Means even though he did not have fortune or fame, but he had a very generous heart and a soul sincere. He was a great and generous man. Heaven did recompense largely sent, and as a reward he was given this generosity. He gave to misery all he had, a tear. Anybody who came, who approached him, he always gave a sympathy or pity for that wretched person. He gained from heaven, it was all he wished, a friend. And he gained means he was rewarded by God with a friend. No farther seek his merits to disclose, or draw his frailties from their dead abode. He says, more than that, don't try to know, don't explore his faults, his weaknesses. Why? Because he is gone, and his merits and faults, they rest in a state of suspense. There they alike in trembling hope repose the bosom of his Father and his God. So now he is in the lap of his Father and his God.